So I made a video like this a little bit ago where I gave myself a budget of a certain amount and I told you guys what products I would buy and why. And I'm doing the same thing here. You guys seem to like that video. So in this case, I have $2,000 to spend on Pokemon product. If I had to buy and spend $2,000 on Pokemon product right now, here is what I would honestly buy, and I'll tell you guys why for each of these products. So first here we have a Silver Tempest booster box, and for each of these products it's just going to be a quantity of one. So I would buy a Silver Tempest booster box. Now why is this the case? So Silver Tempest booster boxes is sort of weird because this was one of the booster boxes in Sword and Shield during the recent hype that happened like a little bit over a month ago. These never hit $400. They were always in the mid 300s. I think the only reason for this possibly happening is because these got a decent reprint with like Lost Origin, if you guys know when that happened, and some other boxes like Astral didn't. So Astral did go above 400, but Silver Tempest didn't. And these have always kind of stayed the same. You guys can even see here. They hit a top of 360. This was during the whole hype thing. They never hit any higher. They never went to 400. And just recently, you can see they've been around like 340. So they haven't really dropped much from where they were at before because they didn't reach that high compared to some other Sword and Shield boxes. And I've said this the entire time. I think Silver Tempest booster boxes are one of the most undervalued boxes. And I really think that reprint that happened towards the end with Lost Origin booster boxes really made this as cheap as it is now. I mean, Astral Rain still, I believe, is just a bit more expensive than Silver Tempest. It dropped a good amount from where it was at when it skyrocketed. But Silver Tempest, I think the Lugia and Rayquaza, especially the Lugia, I think this box being in the mid 300s is very good. Obviously, Silver Tempest is also out of print and stuff, so you don't have to worry about reprints. So I think Silver Tempest in the low to mid 300s is a really good pickup. Now, next here is Brilliant Stars. So at one point during the whole hype thing a month ago, these did hit $500, but since then, these have gone down quite a bit. Now, the graph here is a little bit messed up. I'm not sure why that is, but about like a month ago, like I said, during the whole hype thing, prices did reach $500, but now you can see lowest listed is sub $400. So Sword and Shield just overall has been going down a lot. And in for this budget, I picked the cheaper boxes because I could obviously say like Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Evolvement Skies would obviously take up the whole budget, but those would be too big of a chunk. So I think these like middle sort of expensive Sword and Shield boxes are pretty good. And I think if I had to choose a box that was like 350 or 400, I would probably pick Silver Tempest and Brilliant Stars. And Brilliant Stars for the big reason that it's dropped like about $100 from where it was at previously about a month ago. And Brilliant Stars, on paper, to me, it's like a perfect set. It has a Charizard, alternate art. It has, evolutions in the trainer gallery. Just, in my opinion, it's a perfect set. Plus, you see the box, it's really nice. So I think that you can get this at a discount from where it was at a month ago for about $100 less. I think it's a great pickup. Another honorable mention would be like Chilling Rain. It's a little bit more expensive than Brilliant and Silver, but since these are the cheaper ones and we are on sort of a budget here, I picked Brilliant Stars. I really think these two Sword and Shield boxes are one of the best pickups. I didn't include any of the first like 4 sets. I didn't include Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, or what Vivid Voltage or Battle Styles, like any of those sets I didn't pick because some of them are cheaper, like are probably around $200, but those sets in my opinion are not really worth buying. Now next here, I had to include some Evolvement Skies. Evolvement Skies obviously is going to do extremely well like later down the line. It's already around 4 years old at this point, but I couldn't pick a booster box because it's like $2,000, which is the whole budget. So I picked the ETB. Now I didn't pick the PC ETB because there is a Pokemon Center ETB of this, but since there's no like stamp promo or anything like that, we're just sticking with the normal ETB here, which is around $300. So it is pretty expensive for a normal ETB. But ETBs in the long run, especially for top tier sets, I'm not going to even compare it to like Team Up because the print runs, everything was totally different back then. But I mean, just look up a Team Up Elite Trainer box. They can get expensive. Now, obviously, that is somewhat of a nitpick because, printing for Team Up is, different stuff. You guys can check, ETB prices of other Sun and Moon sets if you want to, compare to see how expensive they can get. But I think Evolvement Skies ETBs at 300, it is expensive, but I want to have, some of the best sets if I have a $2,000 budget. And picking Evolvement Skies, I think just because of the budget, I have to pick a normal ETB. But I would pick a booster box, but obviously it's not in the budget. Now next here, this might be maybe a hot take or something, but I want something with 151 here. So with 151, I'm picking the Blooming Waters collection box. Now why a collection box? So the PC ETB is like $500, right? I'm not going to buy a PC ETB for $500 on a $2,000 budget. The normal ETB is like $250. I am not going to be buying an ETB of 151 at $250 as of right now. But Blooming Waters, the reason why I am picking up this is because recently it's been getting reprinted. It's recently come out, and the price per pack for this is very good. It's about $9 a pack. Although these types of boxes usually don't hold insane premiums because the promos aren't really cool. It's sort of a bigger box, but the price per pack is the biggest thing and why I would pick this 151 product. The booster bundles could be another option. I could have put them up here as well, but these ones, just the price per pack is the best. So for that reasoning, I'm just picking this box just strictly because of that reason. Because the ETBs, the price per pack is ridiculous. The booster bundles isn't as bad, but it's still a little bit expensive. And booster bundles, I believe, this still has like a year being printed. Possibly they'll go back and print more booster bundles because usually, booster bundles are like their go-to product to reprint. So in my opinion, I would just buy one of these, and you can buy them for like $110. You can go on eBay, there's plenty of them, and even locally you can find them for around just $100 flat. So I pick a Blooming Waters box just because the price per pack is cheapest. Now next here we have Palia Evolved. Now the reason why I'm picking Palia Evolved, even though at this point it is the most expensive Scarlet and Violet booster box, I think Palia Evolved is going to be, a very, remembered set just because it has the Magikarp. The Magikarp, although it's just an illustration rare, it is one of the most iconic cards in Scarlet and Violet. Like if you were to think about like the top 5 cards in Scarlet and Violet, the most like popular cards, the Magikarp is one of them, right? The Bubble Mew may be one of them, maybe the Surging Sparks Pikachu, maybe the Moonbreon, maybe the Greninja. But you definitely think about the Magikarp when you think about, Scarlet and Violet era cards. And just for that reasoning, I would pick up one of these for around $300, even though it is the most expensive box. Also, it is older. It's the second main set. It's a little bit over 2 years old at this point now. It's already gotten reprinted multiple times. So I just think buying this box at $300, I think if you think about this, where it's going to be in a few years from now when it's officially out of print, I think buying at $300 then it wouldn't be seen to be a bad idea, even though now it is the most expensive booster box in Scarlet and Violet. Now next here, yes, I'm picking up Prismatic Evolutions at $100 in ETB. I have talked about it previously. I think if you don't have any Prismatic and you didn't buy anything from this recent restock and supply we've gotten on the market, I just don't think it's that great to just be waiting. If you're still waiting for it to go to MSRP, for me, I'd at least pick up something. If you have 0 Prismatic, so if I had a $2,000 budget, I'd pick up a Prismatic ETB at $100 because in the long term, $100 for a Prismatic ETB is going to be cheap. Now next here, this is going to be maybe another hot take here, but Journey Together enhanced booster boxes. Now the reason why I'm picking the enhanced booster box here for Journey Together, the regular ones aren't that common. It's usually just the enhanced box, but the box topper feature. And also the set isn't that bad. I've talked about it before. I made a video talking about it. I really think Journey Together is going to be somewhat of a sleeper play because literally nobody is talking about this set to be a good investment. And I personally think the set is pretty good. I'm not saying it's out of this world, but it has some nice cards in it. And a big feature to the booster box is the enhanced feature. This is the only booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era to have a box topper. It's the only one. If there was other sets that had box toppers, I wouldn't even put this up here. But since this is the only set that has it, this is special, right? A box topper, the only set to have one in Scarlet and Violet is this one. I'm picking it. Also, there's been speculation that possibly when this booster box gets reprinted, maybe they won't reprint the box topper feature. If that's true, these are going to go crazy. So there's just a lot of elements of why I would buy one of these at $200 because they might not get reprinted again with the box topper feature. And even if they do, when this goes out of print, people will remember this. It'll be the only box to have a box topper in Scarlet and Violet. And the set is pretty good. You combine those features, all those things together, I think buying this box $200 right now, it's not the worst thing ever, especially when nobody's really looking at it. Now lastly here, maybe another hot take, a Destin Rivals booster box. Now, why am I buying this at $250? I know, right? I bought some Destin Rivals booster boxes at like $230. Now, I didn't go insane and buy cases and cases because do I think this is expensive? Yes, but I'm thinking about the long term here. When I'm saying I'm giving myself a $2,000 budget, I'm talking about giving myself a budget to hold onto these products and not to flip them the next day, right? And I think Destin Rivals, even though, yes, it still has 3 years of getting printed and being in rotation, I get it, right? But when this goes out of print, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be $250, right? And that's the only reason why I'm putting it up here. Because yes, it will get printed. Yes, more supply will come to the market, but we don't know where the bottom is. We don't know where this is going to be at. And if I had a budget, I'd want to include, in my opinion, what's the best main set in Scarlet and Violet, and has proven to be very strong, at least for now. But just this having the Team Rocket element, the box design, just everything about this, I want to have Destin Rivals a product of some sort. And I'm picking the booster box. I could have picked like a PC ETB possibly. That wouldn't have been, I guess, that would have maybe been a better choice, you could say. But the booster box, I think at $250, it is expensive. But then again, like I said, when this goes out of print, I think perspective will be different then. So that's what I would buy with my $2,000 budget. It's give or take probably plus or minus $100, $200 here. But you guys let me know if you agree with this, what you would swap out. I know Destin Rivals will probably be one where probably a lot of people would say I'd skip on or that I should have skipped on. But I think Destin Rivals is just going to be, in my opinion, one of the top performing booster boxes in Scarlet and Violet. And yes, it's new. It's going to get printed more. I'm just buying one just to have it for the long term. So that's all I have here for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.